Just going through the log from the weekend, a number of aggravated assaults. Most are basically reports. There was one that was reported. This was around 1 a.m. on the 14th near 37th and Duluth Avenue. This involved a gathering at a house which later turned into a dispute in which the resident had asked a number of people to leave the party that was going on at that location. According to the report, there were numerous people that went outside the residence where the arguing continued, and someone threw a rock through a window. Later, a subject was described as a black male with a black sweatshirt and sweatpants pulled out a firearm with a green laser on it and pointed it towards the crowd before leaving in a red Subaru type vehicle. No arrests and no injuries at this point as far as this case goes, and the investigation is ongoing. 2 arsons on the log. One is a small fire that was set near the door of an apartment, and the other is a vehicle fire. No suspects in those and no arrests. There's a robbery on the log, which has now been reclassified as a simple assault, so it was more of a vehicle dispute, but it's no longer a robbery as far as that case goes. There's not on the log here, but there was an injury accident yesterday. This happened around 9:35 last night near 26 and Southeastern. The report states that a Jeep Grand Cherokee was turning left to go southbound on Southeastern at that intersection when it collided with an eastbound GMC Acadia. All 4 occupants of the Acadia suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries and were taken to the hospital. Their ages are 27, 52, 38, and 41. The driver of the Cherokee, had shown signs of impairment during the investigation and was placed under arrest to yield the left turn. His last name is Heil, H-E-I-L, first name of Christopher, common spelling, and middle of Lawrence, L-A-W-R-E-N-C-E, 42-year-old of Sioux Falls.
Is that drinking and driving?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yep. In addition to that, the Acadia was found to be traveling at a high rate of speed prior to that collision. The driver in that case, or that vehicle, was also cited for reckless driving, driving suspended, and no seatbelt. His last name is Motley, M-O-T-L-E-Y, first name of Herman, H-E-R-M-A-N, and middle Brewer, B-R-E-W-E-R, 38 years old of Sioux Falls. According to the report, is zone prior to entering the intersection. Questions on that one at all? Okay. You find what you're looking for? Go, Ross, go first.
Dakota and 14th, depending on how the intersection shakes out. If it's not me, if I'll shoot you an email and see if I can get some more specifics.
Dakota. Yes,
okay.
Anyways.
I'll find some more specifics to shoot you an email after.
Going through the rest of the log, disorderly conducts, other than that one, can't find anything else, but just normally reports on that, family offenses. Larcenies were basically shopliftings, narcotics, nothing of note. Already touched on the robbery. Stolen vehicle numbers are kind of high for the weekend. Looks like we had 9 or 10 reported. So the weapons violation involved juveniles. And you had a question too on something?
Yeah, excuse me. Also disorderly conduct last night around 11:30. I believe it's probably the same incident you're referencing around.
You have some
11:30. There's one on the 12th. Is that what we're looking at near McKenna Park?
maybe.
Could be, yeah.
Do you have any idea what the circumstances, so I can clarify?
People getting in a fight in the front yard, somebody breaking tree branches.
Okay, yep, that is,
that's
that,
the 12th.
yes, that's the
All right.
12th, yeah,
Okay.
okay. All right. So I'm looking at that quick here.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for this.
Yeah. I was like, I think we're talking about the same thing. So.
okay, so this happened around 11:30 on September 12th near 21st Street and 7th Avenue. There was a few residents in this neighborhood had called to report that a man had been yelling offensive and derogatory statements out loud that were directed to the residents at two different people at this location. Let me start that over again. Multiple residents in the neighborhood called the police after a man had been yelling offensive and derogatory statements out loud that were directed to the residents of two different locations in that neighborhood. While outside the second victim's residence, the man continued to yell derogatory words towards the victims and began to break off tree branches of a tree that belonged to them 1 block away. Officers were at the residence and taken into custody for disturbing the peace and intentional damage to property, Class 2 misdemeanor. His last name is Caldwell, Caldwell. First name of Rusty, Rusty, the middle of Allen, Alan, 43 years old, Sioux Falls. The report indicates that there may have been some prior disorderly, behavior by the suspect in this case towards one of the victims, according to the report, with some comments and text messages. I'm not going to repeat what was said due to being police briefing, but this was doesn't have a date as to when that happened as far as the initial incident, but just this was on the 12th that I'm talking about right now.
So did they know each other then?
They live in the neighborhood together. I don't know the extent of their relationship, but they know who each other are.
Drugs or alcohol involved in that?
There was some discussion that there was a history of him drinking and making comments before. It doesn't say anything in the report about there any alcohol being involved with it.
Oh, the 37th and Duluth incident.
Are we just wrap? Are we done with this too, or anything else on that one?
I'm good.
I just had one question here.
Yeah.
So, obviously, with people in that situation, what should they? This might be better for after. So, if you need to cut me off here, go.
No,
for
go
it.
ahead.
So, people in that situation, what should they necessarily do if someone is out? That's totally fine, but that's totally fine, but the victim also put out a Facebook post saying he was then later told that they couldn't do, officers couldn't do much for him in regards to this crime here. I believe he self-described it. Law says obviously here, but in regards to that, how would you kind of describe that?
So this has come up in state law at the time right now, lists race, ethnicity, religion, and ancestry, or national origin as the groups of people protected by the malicious intimidation or harassment law. This incident did not fit the qualifications for that.
If he was attending that gathering or if he came from elsewhere.
Do some digging on that here quick.
So I'm kind of wondering if he knew the people at the party.
Excuse me. So yeah, it looks like that the suspect was there at the party before being asked to leave. There was a request by the resident to, because it sounds like there's people showing up that he didn't know, so he asked the people that he didn't know to leave. So I'm not sure if that was one of these individuals or not, but
So then do you guys know who he is?
no,
No.
no. Unknown suspect at this point. Anything else? All right, thanks. Have a good day.